Hey everybody, and welcome back. Ready for another deep dive. This time we're taking a look at Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist.
Oh, yeah. The Alchemist. Definitely a classic.
Yeah, for sure. It's sold millions of copies worldwide, right? And translated into what, like 80 languages or something?
Yeah, something like that. It's been hugely popular.
That right there tells you it's got to have something special, right? So we'll see if we can uncover what makes it tick for so many people.
I'm game if you are.
Well, let's jump in. It's about a shepherd named Santiago who dreams of treasure.
Near the pyramids of Egypt.
Right. Sounds kind of like a classic adventure story.
Well, it is and it isn't.
How so?
On the surface, yeah, it's a treasure hunt. Santiago's on this quest, driven by his dream. But Coelho takes us deeper, you know? It's about so much more than just the destination.
Oh, I definitely get that vibe just from reading it.
It's about tapping into your purpose, confronting fears, those things that hold us back. And it's about recognizing the signs the universe throws our way, you know, those little synchronicities.
Okay, so it's not just Indiana Jones with sheep then.
Right. More to it than that.
One thing that really struck me was this concept of the personal legend.
Yeah. What'd you think about that?
We've all got dreams, right? But Coelho seems to be saying there's something deeper going on, like a calling or destiny or something.
You hit the nail on the head. Your personal legend is that unique path you're drawn to. Almost like it's woven into who you are, you know? Santiago's whole journey is about chasing after that personal legend, even when he's tempted to settle for a comfortable life.
And that's what makes it so relatable, right? Haven't we all been there?
Yeah.
That pull between comfort and the unknown.
Absolutely. It's a universal struggle. The book highlights the sacrifices and risks we have to make to really live our purpose, you know, to align with our truth.
You know, when you talk about sacrifices, it reminds me of this time I was offered a promotion at work. It would have meant moving across the country, away from my family and friends. It was such a tough decision. Career advancement versus my personal life, you know.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a classic crossroads.
It really felt like one.
Have you ever faced a decision like that, where you had to weigh your dreams against your comfort zone?
Oh, yeah. Many times.
Okay.
And it's never easy. But I think that's what makes Santiago's story so compelling. He doesn't just bravely charge ahead fearless. He has doubts, setbacks, even despair.
Oh, for sure. Remember that part where he gets robbed, left with absolutely nothing?
Yeah, like the universe was testing his commitment to his personal legend.
Totally. And that's where he has to dig deep and choose to keep going, even when it feels impossible.
What do you think about those parts?
I think Coelho is suggesting that the universe throws these curveballs our way, not to break us, but to refine us.
Like forging steel, to make it stronger?
Exactly. The heat and pressure create something more resilient. That's what Santiago goes through. Pirates' betrayals, the vast emptiness of the desert. All these experiences shape him.
Make him who he's meant to be. I'm also really intrigued by the whole idea of omens.
Yeah, the language of the universe.
Right. Santiago learns to trust his intuition and recognize those signs, even if they seem random at first.
It's like learning a new language, right? It takes practice to understand and interpret those signs, those gut feelings, chance encounters, even dreams. Could all be the universe nudging us in the right direction.
Oh yeah, for sure. It makes me wonder if some of the mistakes we make are just us misreading the signs. You know, taking a wrong turn.
It's certainly an intriguing thought, isn't it?
Totally. But getting back to The Alchemist for a sec, Santiago isn't alone on this journey, is he?
Oh, definitely not. He encounters all sorts of people, each teaching him valuable lessons, like guides along the way.
Right, like Melchizedek, the king of Salem.
Yes. Melchizedek, what a character.
He introduces this whole concept of the personal legend, right? And gives Santiago those two stones, Urim and Thummim.
To help him read the omens.
Yeah, like he's giving him the tools and the nudge to get started.
Melchizedek represents that spark of inspiration, you know? That mentor figure who sees our potential and encourages us to take the first step.
I think we all wish we had a Melchizedek in our lives, right?
Don't we, though? Someone to point us in the right direction. Someone who believes in us even when we doubt ourselves. Yeah, wouldn't that be great? Someone to kind of guide us along the way. Speaking of guides, though, there's another character I want to talk about, the Crystal Merchant.
Oh yeah, he's the one who chooses not to follow his own personal legend, right?
Exactly. He dreams of going to Mecca, but he never actually takes the risk to go.
He's too comfortable with his life, right? Too afraid to lose what he's built.
You got it. He represents kind of the opposite of Santiago. Someone who lets fear and complacency hold him back. It's like a cautionary tale.
It's like he's trapped in a cage of his own making, right? Trading his dream for a predictable routine.
And what's interesting is he seems content on the surface, but underneath you can sense this sadness, a yearning for what might have been.
Yeah, totally. It's a good reminder that real fulfillment doesn't come from comfort or material possessions alone.
It comes from aligning with your purpose, even if it means stepping outside your comfort zone, taking risks.
Speaking of risks, let's talk about the alchemist himself, the one who becomes Santiago's mentor.
Ah, yes, the alchemist. He embodies this wisdom and mastery.
He teaches Santiago about alchemy, but also about life itself, right?
Exactly. He's like a catalyst, helping Santiago tap into his own inner potential. He teaches in the language of the world, the ability to see beyond the surface and recognize how everything's connected.
Like turning lead into gold.
Exactly. It's about the transformative power we all have within us, the ability to turn our challenges and experiences into something valuable, something golden.
That's a great way to put it. So the alchemist helps Santiago realize that the real treasure isn't material wealth. It's about the journey itself.
Becoming the best version of yourself. And that's a journey we're all on, right? But speaking of the journey, what about that ending? Does Santiago actually find the treasure?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Does he actually reach his destination?
Well, that's where Coelho throws us a curveball. He reaches the pyramids, but the discovery he makes is more profound and unexpected than he ever imagined.
So it's not just a straightforward treasure hunt with a happy ending.
Nope. Coelho keeps us guessing.
So what's the message then? If it's not just about finding a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
It's about challenging our assumptions about what it means to achieve our goals. It's not always about reaching a specific destination. It's about the transformation that happens along the way.
And the different types of treasure we uncover along the way.
Right.
Not always gold and riches.
Santiago finds love, friendship, wisdom, a deeper understanding of himself and the world.
You got it. It's a reminder that the most valuable things in life aren't always tangible.
Okay, so say someone's listening to this and they're feeling lost, unsure of their own personal legend. What's the big takeaway from The Alchemist? What advice would you give them?
First thing, listen to your heart. What are you drawn to? What activities make you lose track of time?
Yeah, it's like those moments when you're so engrossed in something that the rest of the world just fades away. Exactly. Those are clues to your personal legend. Then you gotta trust your intuition. Even if the path ahead is unclear, take that first step. Follow those breadcrumbs.
It's about having faith, right? In yourself and the journey, even when you don't have all the answers.
And remember, you don't have to do it alone. Look for mentors, teachers, friends, people who can support you. Just like Santiago had Melchizedek and the Alchemist, we all need people who believe in us, encourage us to keep going.
What about those times when we face setbacks, when we stumble or get lost along the way? The Alchemist seems to suggest that those challenges are part of the process too.
Oh, absolutely. Mistakes and failures are inevitable on any journey. The key is to view them as learning opportunities, stepping stones to growth and resilience.
So it's not about avoiding the challenges. It's about learning how to navigate them and extract the wisdom they offer.
And remembering that sometimes the greatest treasures are found in unexpected places, hidden within the challenges themselves.
It's like those times when you look back on a tough experience and realize how much you learned from it, how it shaped you.
Exactly. And don't forget to pay attention to the signs. Those synchronicities and omens. Coelho calls it the language of the universe.
Those gut feelings, chance encounters, even dreams, guiding us along the way.
But like any language, it takes practice to understand and interpret those whispers. Sometimes we misinterpret them, lead to detours or delays, but even those wrong turns can teach us valuable lessons, ultimately bring us closer to our destination.
Speaking of destinations, we were talking about the ending of The Alchemist earlier. There's something about it that's left open to interpretation, right?
That's right. Coelho never explicitly states whether Santiago finds the physical treasure. He gets to the pyramids, but the discovery is more symbolic, more about inner transformation than material wealth.
So it's like Coelho is challenging us to figure out what treasure really means.
It's a powerful question, and the answer is different for everyone. What's treasure in your life? What are those things that bring you joy and fulfillment? A sense of purpose.
It's like he's saying the real treasure is the journey itself, the growth, the self-discovery, the connections we make along the way.
Precisely. The most valuable things can't always be held in your hand. It's about the intangible treasures. Love, connection, purpose. Living in alignment with your true self.
You know, it's interesting. The themes of The Alchemist resonate with so many different cultures and spiritual traditions.
You're right. It's like Coelho tapped into some universal truths about the human experience.
The story of a hero going on a journey, facing challenges, and ultimately finding their true purpose. It's a narrative that transcends time and place.
We see it in myths, fairy tales, religious texts, even modern-day movies and books. There's something about it that speaks to something deep within us.
It's a reminder that no matter who we are or where we come from, we all share this desire to live a meaningful life, to find our place in the world.
And to embrace the adventure along the way.
But I think it's important to remember that pursuing your personal legend isn't always about those grand gestures or epic journeys.
That's a good point. Sometimes it's about the small, everyday choices. Trying a new hobby, speaking up for what you believe in, or just being kind to a stranger.
It doesn't have to be about quitting your job and traveling the world, although that might be part of someone's journey.
It's about being intentional with your choices, aligning your actions with your values, taking small steps that move you closer to your authentic self.
So it's about paying attention to those things that spark your soul, those moments that make you feel truly alive.
And having the courage to follow those sparks, even if it means venturing off the beaten path.
Speaking of venturing off the beaten path, I remember in The Alchemist, Santiago is told to listen to his heart. It's like a mantra that guides him through all the uncertainty.
It's something we can all apply to our own lives, right?
Totally. The heart often knows things that the mind can't explain.
It's that inner compass that points us toward our true north, even when logic or fear tries to steer us in a different direction.
So it's about cultivating that inner wisdom, that connection to our intuition, and then having the courage to trust it.
It's not about blindly following your emotions. It's about developing that discernment, that ability to distinguish between fleeting desires and deeper yearnings.
Those yearnings that speak to your soul's purpose.
Exactly. Learning to listen to that quiet voice within, that still small voice that whispers your truth. And then having the courage to act on it, to take steps that align with your authentic self.
And sometimes those steps lead us in unexpected directions. That's the exciting part. The possibility of discovering hidden talents, passions you didn't even know you had, fulfillment in places you never thought to look.
Exactly. Being open to the unexpected twists and turns, the detours and delays, trusting that even the most challenging experiences are leading you toward your destiny.
That's reassuring, knowing that even if we stumble or get lost, the universe is conspiring to help us find our way back to the path, back to our personal legend.
And that even the smallest choices can have a profound impact.
Like that butterfly effect. A small flutter of wings creating a ripple across the world.
Every action, every decision, no matter how small, has the potential to create a cascade of events that shape our destiny.
So it's not just about those big defining moments. It's about being mindful of the choices we make each day.
It's about recognizing that we're not just passengers on this journey. We're co-creators, constantly shaping our reality.
It's amazing how much practical wisdom The Alchemist offers, even though it's fiction.
Absolutely. It invites us to reflect on our values, beliefs, aspirations. It challenges our assumptions about success and happiness, and it reminds us that the most important journey is the journey inward, toward discovering our true selves.
This has been such a great discussion. I feel like we've only scratched the surface of all the wisdom in this book.
It's a book that reveals new layers with each reading, and it stays with you long after you've finished it.
I think what's so remarkable is that it's not just a book about finding treasure. It's a book about finding yourself.
And about realizing that the greatest treasure is often right there in front of you, within your own heart and mind.
It's a reminder that the journey of self-discovery is a lifelong adventure.
And it's never too late to start listening to your heart and following your dreams.
Before we wrap up, I want to go back to that detail about the ending of The Alchemist for a minute.
You mean the ambiguity of whether Santiago finds the physical treasure at the pyramids?
Yeah. It's been bugging me this whole time.
Yeah.
What do you think Coelho is trying to say by leaving it open-ended?
That's a great question. And I think it's one of the most important parts of the book.
Yeah.
By not telling us outright whether he finds the treasure, Coelho makes us think about what really matters. Is it about reaching a specific outcome? Or is it about the transformation that happens along the way? It really makes you think, doesn't it? About what we're chasing after in life.
It does. You know, it's funny. As we've been discussing Santiago's journey and all the crazy stuff that happened, it's made me realize how often we get so fixated on a specific destination. But the real magic is in those unexpected detours.
Oh, totally. Like the crystal merchant, he was so obsessed with getting to Mecca that he missed out on everything else.
Right. And that reminds me, we've been kind of dancing around this idea that Coelho leaves the ending open to interpretation. Santiago reaches the pyramids, But we don't actually know if that treasure from his dream is really there.
Right. He leaves it up to us to decide.
It's like he's asking, was it ever about the gold? Or was the real treasure the stuff he found along the way?
The wisdom, the self-discovery, the connections, Kalo, makes us question what truly matters in life.
I love that. So maybe The Alchemist isn't really a treasure map at all.
What do you mean?
Well, maybe it's more like a mirror.
A mirror.
Yeah, reflecting back our own desires and fears, and ultimately, our potential.
Wow, I like that. It's like he's saying the real treasure is buried within you.
Exactly, and I think that's what makes The Alchemist so powerful. It speaks to something universal within us. That yearning for something more, that desire to find our place in the world.
It's about defining what treasure means to you.
Right. For some people, it might be climbing Mount Everest or writing a book. For others, it might be about deeper relationships or inner peace.
It's not about judging which treasure is better. It's about honoring what truly matters to you.
What makes your soul sing? What gets you out of bed in the morning? So for our listeners who are feeling inspired, what advice would you give them based on The Alchemist?
Start by paying attention. What sparks your curiosity? What makes you feel alive?
Those activities where you completely lose track of time.
Those are clues to your personal legend.
And what about those moments when fear takes over? When you start doubting yourself?
Remember, every hero faces their demons. It's part of the journey. Those fears are actually opportunities for growth. Tests of your commitment to your dreams.
It's like that quote, the fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself.
Sometimes you gotta push through those uncomfortable feelings to get to the good stuff.
And don't forget, you don't have to do it alone. Find mentors, teachers, friends, people who believe in you.
Just like Santiago had his guides. We all need that support system.
People to cheer you on and pick you up when you fall. So as we wrap up this deep dive into The Alchemist, what's that one final nugget of wisdom you want to leave our listeners with?
Trust the journey, embrace the unknown, and never stop listening to your heart. The universe has your back, and the greatest treasure you'll ever find is yourself.
Beautifully said. And remember, listeners, even though Santiago's quest was sparked by a dream of literal treasure, the real magic of The Alchemist is that it awakens the dreamer in all of us.
So go out there and embrace the adventure. May your journeys be filled with treasures beyond your wildest dreams.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep seeking, keep exploring, and keep believing in the power of your own personal legend.